Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show with Mike and T-Roy. Hello, T.
Hey, pal.
Nice to see you in your shades again.
Yeah. Just had another appointment. I'm all dilated.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
What are you?
Big old pupils.
Holy shit, dude. You look like you have black shark eyes.
Right? It's creepy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really is. Is that one of those, like, what happens? Is it just like light is blinding right now?
Yeah, well, I mean, normally your eye's like a filter. It opens and closes. When it's bright light, it shrinks down, so it doesn't let as much. But they dilate it so it stays wide open, so it doesn't shrink down, so light is...
How long does it stay dilated?
A few hours.
Really?
Yeah.
And then it just goes back to normal?
It'll eventually just wear off. It's just drops they put in there to
dilate. What are you still seeing now? Are you still seeing the flap underneath or whatever?
No, that's all gone. It was the bubble is all I was really seeing anymore because they put that gas bubble into my eye, and it looked like the top of the Magic 8-Ball, like that little bubble floating around.
Yeah,
That's what I saw. Like if I looked straight down, it was like centered in my eye, and then when I lift up, it's down here. But it's been kind of cool watching that thing just shrink.
Yeah,
and shrink and shrink and shrink. So it's
cool.
Small now.
I don't know if that's the right word. But
well, it's just it's been interesting to sort of watch it to see it shrink as as time goes on.
Well, we've got a busy afternoon. Things going on. You got shit going on.
Sorry, yes, sir.
And so we are starting earlier than normal. This is almost like doing a morning show. And I got to be honest with you, I am jittery as shit because usually I drink my entire pot of coffee, from 8, 9, 10, 11. And then I've got a few hours to let it cool down.
No, you're still right.
And I'm just like...
in the peak jitter mode.
I feel like I've been doing blow all morning. I'm just like...
All right, perfect. Let's get it.
Yeah. Anyways, I'm sorry I'm a few minutes late. I got the cat upstairs.
Okay.
And he's a long hair, fat pants.
Yeah.
And
very long hair.
Yeah. And he rolls around outside and he gets all knotted up. He gets like dreadlocks. But we can go days without seeing him. He's kind of doing his own thing,
For sure.
A couple winters ago, you remember he was up in that tree for a couple weeks.
Correct, yeah.
Where he was just up there, and I just heard him meowing, and he was like fucking 10 stories high. It was crazy. And so he's got these dreads building up, and he was just laying on my bed, just chilling. And so I grabbed some clippers, and I'm like, last time I tried to cut one off, I literally, like, scalped him. Like, Redskin style, the whole works. And I felt so bad. I left a patch, 2-inch by 2-inch of just raw, bleeding skin on this fucking cat. And he was cool about it. And I put some ointment on it. And I just felt bad because every time I'd see him, he's all fucked up.
Yeah.
And so I got the clippers out this time instead of scissors. And I just like shaved a cat off him.
Okay.
Like a cat.
Right on.
Like
just right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I just ran upstairs. He was laying there. I'm like, fuck.
Perfect. So that's why we're late. You said you shaved the cat?
Yeah, I had to just get the... Dude, it was so bad, and I was trying to pull on it, and it wouldn't come. And I'm like, okay, I got to do something. While I've got him here, I might not see him for days, and this has got to be painful as shit. So I just grabbed the clippers. It didn't take very long, but was able to just kind of get that chunk off him. Ugh, I've got to take him in, though, and just have them just fucking turn him into a 2-pound cat. Just shave the shit out of him.
Shave that pussy.
Yeah, exactly.
Nobody likes a hairy pussy.
No one does.
Especially with mats.
Yeah, and allergies.
Right.
Who knew you were allergic to pussies like you are?
I did. My whole life.
Yeah, which is weird.
Yeah.
Hairy
pussy.
I
don't think I've ever been allergic to a shaved pussy.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
I
Now
don't
that
think
you
I have
mention
any
it.
issue with that whatsoever.
Yeah, so you would not have done well in the 70s.
No.
At all. No. Early 80s even, you would have struggled. But nowadays, it's
which is weird. I consider
so
myself a hippie. Like I should have been going through the 60s. But
yeah. By the way, do you think, because it's obviously a culture thing, women shaving their pits, legs, vagines, assholes, whatever else they're doing, like, there's an argument to be made that, hey, guys don't do it, girls shouldn't have to do it. You know what I mean? But I don't think I could deal with it.
Yeah. Well, it's what's normal. If you never knew any different, you'd be glad to have a big bush.
100%.
Yeah.
Like we'd be bragging about, oh my God, dude, the bush was so huge on this chick. It was amazing.
Yeah, right?
You wouldn't have believed
that would have been the fucking goal. Yeah. Find the biggest bush.
Yeah, and it'd just be like an Italian guy, with giant fucking chest hair coming out of him and all that. But that would totally be normal. I mean, women did it to themselves.
Yeah.
I mean, I had no say in this, but it's like that's all we've known. And it's like now you can't go back.
Yeah.
You can't put that toothpaste back in the tube.
I'm sure the girls with pretty little kitties are all in favor of it. You think the ones that just have the roast beef hanging, the meat curtains?
Yeah,
like,
maybe.
Can we go back to the bush, please, so I can cover this thing up?
Kind of like some window dressing covering up the shit show going on behind.
Sure, exactly. Look, I was doing a lot better before this thing was exposed.
Well, that would be a nice, like, if that was the only stipulation, was like, dude, this thing is such a fucking disaster. I mean, absolute meat curtains that I had to grow this out. And if you knew that going in, and it was like, okay, now I can make a decision.
Yeah. Well, now the problem is, that makes it double worse for us now.
Yeah.
Right? Now I got to deal with a fucking bush and meat curtains.
Doing that the whole time.
Yeah.
And,
it's a lose-lose situation. Sorry.
It's a shit show. I feel bad. I mean, girls have no control over that, just like guys. Some are born with giant ball sacks and cocks, and some of us aren't.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And it's like, it is what it is. What are you going to do?
Natural selection.
Yeah. Can you trim those down, by the way? Can you have reconstructive vagine surgery?
I'm sure you can.
Just cleans that mess up.
You can just get a whole brand new fake pussy. I assume you can clean up a real one.
Yeah. True. I don't know. I've never asked anyone about it, but I'm sure plastic surgeons
just fold them back in,
staple it.
Give the illusion of just a tight little axe wound.
Yeah.
And then once you finally get in there and it
blows.
Yeah, it's like you're taking the fake nuts, and you pull the lid off the can, and snakes jump out.
You ever bet? Yeah.
You pull those panties off, and lips flop out at you.
Yeah. You ever been around a girl like that just was like, oof, didn't see that coming?
Which one? The curtains?
Explosion, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, not to the level, obviously, of Hope Solo.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. It takes a long time to
I had one that was like
figure out
this.
where you're at, where you're going.
I had one like this.
Okay. Sideways?
Yeah, like if you did it.
Okay. Yeah.
And it just kind of had that. It was kind of cute.
Just one that stuck out? One lip
Just
in the middle?
Just a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was like, I don't know where.
Never wanted to fuck your mouth more.
Yeah. It's kind of like your hand injury.
Exactly, right.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't know how we got on this topic. We always seem to get
shaving
on this
pussies.
topic. Yeah, shaving pussies. We have quite a few things to get to today, and one of them is Dale Mooney.
Mooney, you're an asshole.
You, sir, are an asshole. Dale Mooney, if you remember from yesterday, we're talking about him. He's the longtime season ticket holder out there at Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, Massachusetts.
Right.
Patriots season ticket holder.
Got in a bit of a scuffle.
Yeah, was beaten to death. Were all the reports. He was beaten to death. Now, I saw Mr. Mooney, and not a picture of health. Okay. Kind of what you'd expect in the 300 section of Gillette Stadium.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, you can picture that guy, right?
Sure.
And he kind of looks like that. But now they're saying he may have succumbed to a medical issue, which the Dolphins fan that popped him a couple times.
Really glad to hear that.
Oh, huge.
Yeah.
I mean, for him, you think just a couple love taps and you kill a guy.
Yeah.
Like, part of you would take pride in that. But
yeah, well, I'm not sure the civil suit's going to feel the same way about that. Because would he have had a heart attack if you didn't punch him in the face a couple of times?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think so.
The wording is kind of like, yeah, this guy was fucked. He had a medical issue. They're not explaining what it is.
Okay.
But I don't know who.
AIDS?
Maybe. They're not explaining a lot, but if you're going civil suit, that usually works with big companies. If you were suing Gillette Stadium and going after Gillette,
which is possible. I mean, you just get in the civil suit, you just start naming everybody.
Yeah,
for sure. Patriots specifically.
But the Dolphins fan. First off, he's sitting in the 300 section. No offense, but that's not where the wallets are hanging out. Right now, if this scuffle happened on the 45-yard line, 13 rows off the field, I'd be like, yeah, go after that guy. He's obviously got coin.
Well, it's not about getting rich. It's about just taking every penny this cocksucker has for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
For killing my husband.
My husband. So, he died after being beaten to death, they said. The autopsy did identify an undisclosed medical issue that may have contributed to his death. DA Michael Morrissey confirmed the issue was a potential contributor to his death. Case will require further testing. He added that the 2 blows delivered by the Dolphins fan did not cause fatal injuries to Mooney, which would be great in court. I mean, he was looking at 30 years on a manslaughter charge.
Absolutely,
probably.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Our investigation has included numerous law enforcement interviews, the exam of multiple angles of video capturing the scuffle prior to Mr. Mooney's collapse during the Sunday night game. Prelim autopsy results did not suggest traumatic injury, but did identify a medical issue. Cause and manner of death remain undetermined pending further investigation.
Well, when that autopsy comes out, let's see what the cause of death was.
Yeah, I don't know what it could be, because when you hear
I'm
of
guessing
these
it's
things,
probably some sort of a heart attack would be my guess.
Right.
A bad heart.
Yeah.
And, or something along those lines to where
Right.
it got all worked up.
it's kind of like the George Floyd argument when they're like, oh, he had so much drugs in his system that. But it's like, well, was he going to drop dead in that moment, or was it the leaning on his neck that did it?
Right.
That pushed him over the edge. And I mean, obviously, that cop is rotting in prison right now.
Mm-hmm.
So there were definitely contributing factors when it came to George Floyd.
No doubt.
People wanted to ignore that, but that's a fact.
It's the reality of the situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
now, if this guy doesn't punch him, does he just drop dead? Probably not.
right. And how do you prove that anyways?
Exactly.
You know, so you know, as far as the Dolphins fan, he's probably like, oh my God, thank God.
Yeah.
Thank God.
But I mean, if somebody's got a bad heart, let's just say, even if you don't punch him, let's just say you jump around a corner and scare somebody. Right?
Yeah.
Jump out and they've got a bad heart and they have a heart attack and they die.
Dude, I say that all the time. Like, don't do that to me. My heart sucks.
Right. But I mean, I didn't put hands on them. I didn't assault them.
Yeah.
But and they have a bad heart, which was why they died, but I scared them to death, literally. So,
well, could you argue that, like, you know, I mean, I don't know if anyone's ever been prosecuted for something like that successfully, like, a loud boo killed him, you know, and it's like,
I don't know, yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, there's liable, you know, if you're found responsible for that death on some level,
yeah,
then you're responsible for that death on some level. If you caught, like I said, I don't know if that's ever been tried, but same kind of thing. If the punch itself didn't kill this guy, but the situation is what caused him to die.
Yeah.
And you caused that situation, then you're responsible on some level.
It sounds like he inserted him into the scuffle, too. Because remember, we had heard originally, like, he never threw a punch and he never did anything. He was just sitting there kind of minding his own business and got popped a couple times. It sounds like
that was the state from his wife?
Right. Or there
his attorney.
It wasn't just his wife and attorney. There were other witnesses that had kind of said something similar, which is why we even mentioned it. Because, his wife and lawyer say it. It's like, of course they're going to say that. Right. But, you know, multiple bystanders, you know, seem to confirm that this sort of happened. But, and I won't pretend to know all the details, but
I can't believe is there not video of this? There's video of every fight and every okay.
There is, and there's still shots that I saw of him, and it looks like he walks over and kind of gets into the middle. Now maybe he's just being a good Samaritan, like, hey, guys,
break it up. Hey,
break it up. We got a good game going on here.
Exactly.
You know, it's week 2. It doesn't make or break either of our seasons, so let's calm down. Who knows? And I just assume alcohol's a factor,
generally speaking.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Family members have paid tribute to Mooney, calling him a loving soul who was constantly laughing in a GoFundMe fundraiser that's collected $13,800 of a $15,000 goal in less than 15 hours. I imagine Patriots fans, as this story gets more and more press, that'll jump up high.
Yep.
Now, he is a white cis male.
Okay.
So I imagine GoFundMe at some point will shut this down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, when they find out some way to pin a charge on him, then they'll shut it all down.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Listen, if it's cis white male, an NFL game, that's right in your wheelhouse. I mean, that's your base.
That's true, but not GoFundMe's base.
No.
You know, GoFundMe would be like, oh my God, disgusting. A white male who's not gay?
Every time
I can take his GoFundMe away.
When I go to GoFundMe's now,
I
specifically don't fucking tip them. I make
tip
sure.
them?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Well, it's supposed to, like, if you give $100, they'll be like, your $100 that goes to them is actually like $110 because they want 10%.
Oh, so GoFundMe does.
Yeah. So if you want to give them 100%, it's going to cost, or $100, it's going to cost you $110.
Well, then I'm giving them 90.
Well, it does. I mean, regardless, but then they're still going to get like.
Oh, they're still milking their 10
They still
off the
milk
top.
their 10 out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Their 10% or whatever it is. And you can opt to go, but they'll automatically put it in there. And then you can opt to make it higher or lower. Like, who the fuck's ever going to make it higher?
Yeah.
Yeah, GoFundMe. You're doing a great job. You
Yeah,
get more
killing
money.
it.
Yeah. 10% out of everybody's fucking donations
Yeah,
across
of
the
the
world.
millions of them, which is
insane.
why they can tell
Yeah, most
people
of
they
these just,
disagree with to go eat shit.
exactly,
They don't
because
care.
they're just making it hand over fist.
Yeah.
But so I intentionally just don't give them theirs
Yeah, good.
out of spite.
I like that. His relatives are raising money for his funeral. 15 grand. Is that about the average cost of a funeral?
It depends. I mean,
It's gonna be a big box. Let me say that.
can barely cover a casket sometimes. But
Yeah,
depending on what you're doing,
this will be a big casket. So I don't know.
a little extra time in the fire.
Yeah, it definitely would. Yeah, I don't know. The Gillette Stadium released a statement. Obviously, they're heartbroken, all that bullshit. There's basically your basic nonsense thoughts and prayers. tablets
Standard
type.
statement.
Yeah, very, very standard. But they do include in the story that this guy was a hero at one point.
Really?
Yeah, Mr. Mooney. He saved a girl from drowning.
Oh man.
Yeah, he risked his own life to save this this child caught between the rocks near a jetty on Hampton Beach.
Okay.
What's a jetty?
I couldn't tell you for sure.
Yeah.
I think it's like an inlet or like an aqueduct.
Okay.
Something along those
I don't know
lines.
what either of those things mean, so we're no further down the road.
Perfect.
Mooney was rushed. He rushed to help the girl who had been trying to free her boogie board from the rocks. The waves were slamming over her. She couldn't even stay on her feet. She kept falling in between the rocks, trying to keep her head above water. And Mooney says we were both pretty scared at that point.
Okay, the jetty is like those little almost like a rock pier that you see that goes out like a break wall.
Yeah.
That's a jetty.
Okay. All
A
right.
long, narrow structure that protects a coastline from the currents and tides.
Sure. Yep. We all know what
Seawall.
that is. Seawall.
There you go.
Yeah. Aren't those famous for having big undercurrent too? Like those areas can breed that.
Well, they can, because if you got a bunch coming on one side and it's calm on the other, but,
Yeah.
and especially out towards the end because it can swirl. Things
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. Which can just drag people down, which
Sure.
sounds like she may have gotten
Yeah.
into there.
So fucking hero though.
Huh?
Mooney's a hero.
Mooney, absolute hero.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no doubt. Dead hero, but a hero nonetheless.
Was a hero.
Was. Well, I think you still are, even when you die, even in death, you could still be a hero.
Yeah.
You know, if they put it on his tombstone, hero, or once was a hero.
Yeah. Well, that was.
Yeah, true. I don't know how that goes.
Uh-huh.
I don't think people are going to pick it, though, if his family puts hero on it.
No, probably not. I'm just saying he was a hero. He no longer exists, so he is no longer a hero. He was a hero in his
He
existence.
was a hero. He's not a current
Right.
hero. I don't know if that dies, though, in death. If you get tagged a hero, like if you get a Purple Heart and you're considered a hero, I don't think that.
Well,
it's like, well, he's not a Purple Heart hero anymore. He was.
After a criminal dies, were they a criminal or are they a criminal?
It's a good one. Yeah, I guess they were a criminal.
That's the way I see it.
Was it a life of crime?
Doesn't matter. Was he a life of hero? Sounds like there was one incident of him being heroic.
I kind of disagree with that. I think once you establish hero-ness,
Yeah.
from that day forward, that's what you are.
Once a hero, always a hero?
Yeah.
Post-mortem?
Yeah, it's kind of like the Heisman. I never agreed with them taking it away and melting it down from OJ. It's
Yeah.
like, well, he wasn't a murderer from this point to this point at USC. He was strictly a Heisman candidate and winner.
Yeah.
You know, melting it down doesn't take away what he achieved at this point before he started murdering waiters and wives.
Yeah, I understand. But Jim Brown's dead, right?
Close. I don't know if he is. Did he just
I think
recently?
he just recently passed, I thought.
Did they bury him in the hat?
I don't know. But he was a Heisman winner.
Yeah. But he's not. He's not anymore.
He's no longer a Heisman winner, no.
I think he's still technically a Heisman winner. I think
was.
we're getting into the
Weeds?
minutia about this, and I think it's just a language thing between us right now going
Potato. Let's
on. Tomato,
disagree
tomato, I
to
would say, but yeah.
Of course you would.
Yeah.
Let's agree to move on.
Well, of course you would say potato, but you know,
To each their own.
yeah. Deion Sanders. Damn. Is this dude going to get annoying as shit?
Yep.
As time goes on, I can feel it already that people are going to be rooting for his downfall.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, on some. I mean, I'm not rooting for his downfall. I'm tired of everybody sucking his dick.
Yeah.
Just the constant nonstop of it. Okay,
Yeah.
fine, I get it. I support it. but I don't need it shoved down my throat. Sorry.
If he had gone to Clemson or had gone to, Florida State where he played, I don't think it would be that big a deal. I think it's that Colorado's, like Nebraska, been such a dog shit program for so many years.
Well, I don't know that it's
going 1-11 to instantly turning it around.
Yeah, I mean that's a big part of it, but I don't think that even it's more the aura around it. It's all the hoopla, it's all the bullshit, it's all the celebrities, it's all the pomp and circumstance that they've got going along with it.
Well, it's the shiny new toy. Yeah. So people, but we love nothing more than building people up and then tearing them down. So I imagine at some point some chick's going to come out and say he grabbed her titty on the sideline or something. You know what I mean? Like those hit pieces will start coming out. But there's no doubt he is killing it with ratings.
Oh yeah,
no shock,
no doubt. Yeah, but again, it's the shiny new toy.
Yeah,
that's going to wear off.
Right.
People, it's like watching Notre Dame on NBC every Saturday. Right?
Yeah.
Get out of here. Stop it. I don't want to see
enough.
it. Sick of it.
Yeah. So that I ended up falling asleep. That game on Saturday, that double OT game,
spectacular. I watched all of it.
You and Tooch stayed up and watched it. I ended up crashing at halftime or something.
Yeah.
Somewhere along there. But that game went till 2:30 in the morning and drew 9.3 million viewers, making it the most watched late night college football game in the history of ESPN.
Wow.
Game had a peak audience of 11.1 million viewers. Despite the game not ending until 2:30 a.m. on Sunday morning, it was still ESPN's most
2:30 a.m.
most.
here.
Right.
11:30 West Coast.
Right.
So that's right in everybody's wheelhouse out there.
Yes. Well, even though it was late, it was still ESPN's 5th most watched regular season game ever on the network for any time slot.
Holy cow.
That's pretty amazing.
That is spectacular, yeah.
That broadcast window for ESPN college football averaged about 1.7 million viewers last year. It was also the most streamed regular season college football game of all time for ESPN. Now, streamed is relatively new, so it's not like it goes back 100 years.
I think, those numbers are going to continue to go up as more and more people stream. So that's a weird number for it.
I had a problem with the stat they were doing during the Browns Steelers game, and they kept referring to it like, this team hasn't won a division title since '93, or haven't started a season 2-0 since '93, and it's like, yeah, but their franchise moved for a decade and a half.
They didn't have. Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like,
the Ravens did.
The Ravens, won multiple Super Bowls.
Exactly.
I mean, that was the Browns.
Yep.
So it's kind of a weird thing. And this, like, it's shattering streaming records. It's like, well, majority of people probably still aren't streaming.
Yeah.
And for the ones that are, it's only been a couple of years.
Do we qualify as streaming?
Yeah.
That counts as a stream?
100%.
Okay. Well, I mean, you're watching ESPN, I mean,
YouTube TV, but it's streaming.
Right. Yeah.
So without an internet connection, we'd still have DirecTV.
Well, I didn't know if you went to like the app ESPN Plus or something to watch it there is what I was saying. Like if that has to be like the stream or
no, I think it's all streaming
because that was the regular broadcast. It was just how we got it. So yeah, I was curious.
Yeah, I think streaming is streaming, and we're definitely on YouTube TV streaming. So that would count. Week 1, Colorado beat TCU on the road, carried by Fox Sports, which was the most watched game of the day, 7.3 million viewers. It was Fox Sports' most watched Week 1 Big Noon Saturday game ever, and it was the network's 3rd most watched Big 12 regular season college football game ever. Only Florida State LSU had more viewers in Week 1, and that game was a standalone on Sunday night.
Yeah, right.
So it was before the So, I mean, there was no other.
Everybody watched that game. It was
exactly.
The only thing that was on.
And that was the week before the NFL season started?
I think so, right.
Right? So, there wasn't even NFL.
It was that Labor Day weekend, so nobody had to work Monday.
Yeah.
It was Sunday night. Yeah.
And a couple good teams.
Yeah, they had everything working for them.
Yeah. So, anyways.
Yeah, the only ranked matchup that whole week.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Of top 25 teams that first week.
Crazy. Mm-hmm. Crazy. So, you can just feel it. You can feel the storm coming because prime time has always been super cocky.
Yeah.
Very talented, very good, all that stuff, but super cocky. Mm-hmm. And while that gets the masses out at first, like, hell yeah, he's doing it different than everybody else, it's going to wear thin.
It will wear thin.
So
I was proud of him for did you see the hit that knocked the kid out? whatever. They're number 12. Forget his
Oh,
name. Stud.
Taylor, not Taylor.
Whatever.
But,
Yeah.
yeah, he's out this week.
Yeah, he's out.
Liver
He-
laceration.
Yeah, lacerated his liver.
So this is the number one recruit in the country that plays both ways, defense and offense, and has been a stud.
Yep. I can't believe I'm forgetting his name, but
Yeah,
either
me
way.
too.
But the kid that hit him on the hit, that looks like a good clean hit to me.
I
And
don't think I saw it.
And they threw him out of the game, and the kid was getting death threats. But then I was proud of Dion because he came out and made a statement, basically like, "Hey man, that kid was playing football. Like it was in the moment. Like we're not mad at him. I forgive him. The program forgives him. The kid forgives him. Everybody forgives him.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way this kid should be getting death threats. It's just a classy way to handle it.
Yeah.
Fitzpatrick
is getting shit too, for Chubb's low hit on Chubb's knee.
Yeah.
And what's his? It's not
Minka.
It is
Yeah,
Minka.
it's Minka
Okay, I don't
Fitzpatrick,
know
yeah.
why I was thinking.
Yeah.
So Minka Fitzpatrick is getting a lot of shit. People calling him dirty player, and it's like he's never been viewed as a dirty player.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard some corners talking about, this is how you end up on the Kyle Brandt segment about angry runs.
Yeah.
Like if Minka Fitzpatrick as a corner tries to go high on Nick Chubb, he's
gonna
going
run over.
He's going to get
trucked.
planted,
Absolutely trucked
beneath the stadium.
Mm-hmm.
So while it's a bang bang moment, like he's got to go low, or there's no fucking chance.
And listen, they're making this bed by helmet to helmet contact.
Yeah,
they're creating this world where they make you go low because you can't go high. Not only are you going to get trucked by a guy like Chubb or Derrick Henry, those guys that will just run you the fuck over.
Yeah.
Right? Helmet to helmet contact is now a penalty, so you can't go high double. You're going to get killed and probably penalized.
Yeah.
So these guys have to go low. The league has created this shitstorm, and they're the ones going to have to deal with it going forward because now everybody's going low.
Yeah.
And I mean, that was a situation where.
But not on quarterbacks.
He was up high, he was already engaged,
Up
and
high,
then he went low.
But you can
that's
watch
football, man. I mean, the speed,
Dude.
it's crazy to go back and dissect some of these plays at the speed that they're played.
And you're not talking about Vontez Burfict, right? Where you go,
that was a
this guy's got a
dirty play,
history of taking headshots at people, going at knees. Like he was known as the most violent and dirty player in the league for a long time, and those guys have existed forever.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But Minka Fitzpatrick is not one of them.
No, and I've never heard that with him at all.
And how many times have you seen Chubb absolutely break 10 tackles? I mean, he's one of the best backs in the league. It's like, no, until he's down, if he's engaged up high with someone, you shoot low and you take him out.
So is he still one of the best backs in the league, or was he one of the best backs in the league?
Was. Okay, there you go. You
Just
win.
checking.
You win. He was at this point. To me, that's a career ender.
It's possible.
After
He already came back.
second one, he's not 20 anymore.
Yeah.
So
that one's going to be tough, but
Yeah.
it's early enough in the season that who knows? He's basically got a full year to recover.
Yeah.
So, and modern medicine, man. I don't question anything anymore.
And this goes to the, running backs nowadays are just woefully underpaid. And this is the argument back and forth. Like, oh, yeah, they get hit like this. After 3 years, they're done, and it's not worth paying them. So I don't know what Chubb's made. Is he on his second deal, third deal?
He's got to be on his second deal by now, but
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I haven't looked into his contract at all.
Yeah.
But
Phil Mickelson.
Lefty.
Old Lefty,
Yeah.
or as Tiger Woods' mom called him, Hefty.
Yeah.
Hefty Lefty. He shared details of his gambling addiction in a social media post on Monday, warning that gambling took him away from being with his loved ones. Mm-hmm. I could see that.
Yeah.
Sure. He's at least got the money to handle it, where most dipshits don't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, him getting in gambling trouble is a whole lot different than us.
Definitely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Billy Walters, a well-known sports gambler, estimated that Mickelson has...
And the only difference between a gambling problem and a gambling habit is whether you win or lose.
Winning and losing, yeah.
Exactly. It's like a drug habit. It's whether or not you can afford it.
Right. This guy estimated Mickelson has placed more than $1 billion in bets over a 30-year period.
Wow.
$1 billion. Think about that.
Yeah. I mean, you don't lose them all, but still.
And but this is kind of crazy. I don't know how to interpret this.
Okay.
So this guy says he's placed more than $1 billion in bets over a 30-year period, and that he lost approximately $100 million. So that means he lost $1.1 billion in bets, he lost $600 million in bets. So he won 400, lost 600, and then he's net down 100 million.
Yeah, he was.
Is that what that means?
It sounds like his net is down 100 million.
Right.
So,
but if he's placed $1 billion in bets,
yeah, that means he's
losing 6
lost,
to 5.
No,
he lost 600 million, but won 500 million, and so then he'd be down 100 million.
Yeah, I guess.
Isn't that,
I mean, that would mean that he's won 900 million. If he's but no, then he would be up, right?
Right. So it'd be 600 and 500.
Yeah, right.
To be
right.
down.
Yeah, so he's
100, and not that
exactly.
with Vig and Juice and like
he's
who
lost.
knows?
Yeah, he's right around 50%.
Yeah. He posted on Twitter. While many people will enjoy fantasy football with their family and friends this year, he will not, because I crossed the line of moderation and into addiction, which isn't any fun at all. Yeah, I'd say. The money wasn't ever the issue since our financial security has never been threatened. All right.
Yeah, that dude's lost $100 million and can
it's just like
laughing
whatever.
it off.
Yeah.
That's fine. Didn't hurt.
But I was so distracted I wasn't able to be present with the ones I love and caused a lot of harm. This lack of presence has been so hurtful. You're here, but you're not with us is something I've been told often throughout my addiction. It affected those I care about in ways I wasn't aware or could fully understand.
You're staying up till 2 o'clock watching the Hawaii
game,
trying
yeah.
to get right, the get right
Dude,
games.
been there. The get right games of Hawaii starting at 1 a.m. I mean, dude, we've been there. I've been there. If you ever cross the line of moderation and enter into addiction, hopefully you won't confuse your enablers as friends like I did. Yeah, that's not really fair. What are they going to do?
Right.
Slap you? I mean, ground you?
Right. Tackle you as you're
I
going
mean,
up to the betting office.
When you're
window.
boys with someone, you kind of roll with whatever they do, understanding they're an adult, and you're
Sure.
like, what am I supposed to do? Not be their friend anymore because they gamble too much or they do a little too much drugs? Like, well, that sounds like a shitty friend too.
Right.
You know, do we all have to host an intervention every time your fucking buddy
Can you imagine
goes a
having
little dark
a
for a
gambling
period?
intervention for Lefty? Shows up. Hey, you want to play golf on Sunday? Yeah, come stop by the house.
Yeah.
Walk in, everybody's there.
The whole family's around a round table.
Have a seat over here, Phil.
Oh, no. No.
Are we not fucking playing golf?
Hopefully you won't have to deal with these difficult moments publicly so others can profit off you like I have. I don't blame others, Phil.
Yeah.
You know?
Starting to shed blame.
Yeah. But hopefully you will have a strong and supportive partner who's willing to help you through being your worst self and through your worst moments like I have in Amy.
Sounds like Phil was about to get divorced.
Yeah.
So I think Phil had himself a bit of an ultimatum here.
Yeah,
I think that's where he's at.
And you think losing $100 million in gambling is bad? Imagine when Amy takes $500 million.
That's not. You haven't lost half yet.
Yeah, exactly. I'm so grateful for her strength. Bet you are, Phil. In helping us get through the many challenges I've created for us. Yeah, but you also gave her everything.
Right.
Like, yeah, you created some fucking problems, but you admitted a sentence ago that financially you were just fine. You were doing fine. No problem.
Yeah. Well, she's not in it for the money. It's pure love
Just
for Amy
love.
Mickelson.
Yeah, just pure love.
Yeah.
So because of her love, support, and commitment, I'm back on track to being the person I want to be. Oh, Phil, stop tweeting.
I smell the ultimatum.
Yep. After many years of receiving professional help, not gambling, and being in recovery from my addictions, I'm now able to sit still, be present in the moment, and live each day with an inner calm and peace. Boring as shit, though. Really is. There is something.
Yeah.
There is something.
There's something nice about having that extra $100 million, though.
Yeah, I guess.
And the
Unless
extra.
you've already got hundreds of millions. Who cares then?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I'm not going to, piss on 100 million, but, it's not like one of us is 100 million in debt and literally has nothing. And then it's just like, well, I guess life's over.
That's it. Shut it down.
I still have a lot of cleaning up to do with those I love most, but I'm doing it slowly and as best I can. He encouraged everyone to enjoy the football season with moderation. That's like those stupid beer commercials that are like, drink responsibly.
Yeah. So shut the fuck up.
Shut
Phil.
the fuck up.
You just mind your business. That's all.
Remember, moments with family will be far more remembered than any bet you win or fantasy league triumph.
I don't know, man.
I don't know about that.
I don't know if my 18-way parlay comes in.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be
Hell
pretty
yeah.
memorable.
I mean, are you going to be like, oh yeah, but this time the family went to the park and had a picnic together. It was just a gorgeous
So
day.
good. Yeah.
No, don't lie to us, okay? We all know that 20,000 you fucking cleared on an 18 parlay, way better than any goddamn family outing to the zoo or beach. No, you could do that no matter what. You could always go to the beach with the family. So don't try and compare.
Yeah, do that shit in the off season.
Yeah, any big bet win won't be remembered. Bullshit. You'll be telling that story forever. You think your friends want to hear more about that? Or they want to hear about the one lovely day you had at the beach with the kids?
Exactly.
Bullshit. No. We're going to be talking about your league victory. You're going to be shit talking with your boys for years about your 0-3 victory.
Yeah.
You know, coming
much
from
you think-
nowhere.
How much do you think he's won and lost on the course? It's just not. This is sports gambling. You know that he's talking about.
Yeah. Oh, he's probably every time. He's probably like Jordan. Every single time he's on the course, he's making $100,000 a hole bets. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, that's probably what keeps it fun for him. Now, I'm assuming that would be illegal as shit if he was doing it during a PGA sanctioned event.
Well, I don't. Not during. No. Generally, this is in their other rounds that they do that shit. They're not doing it unless it's just on the side. Guys have little side bets. I'm sure a lot of.
I think
guys,
his are all side bets on the side.
Yeah. Well, I mean, no, I'm saying when you go out and you play around at the club. A lot of these guys play for big money, real money, not on a tour event.
Right.
I'm just saying when they're out playing with their buddies or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, almost every round is for money.
Right.
It's amazing how much of those rounds of golf are for money on some level.
Well, they've got to find a way to get themselves up for a round of golf. I mean, they literally play
But
golf
even
for
on
a
tour,
living.
I mean, these guys probably just have an unwritten sort of bet, like him and Tiger. I mean, I'm just saying, maybe not Tiger's a bad example, but somebody like that.
Yeah.
Where,
you think? Where it's
probably.
just like, hey, man.
Yeah. But yeah, $100 a stroke, whatever. They probably have an unwritten bet between a lot of them. Friends, a lot of those guys, I bet they.
Yeah. Maybe.
Like Tiger and what's his nuts when he gave him the tampon.
Yeah.
Like they're buddies, dude. They fuck around. They play golf outside of these rounds, a lot.
Yeah, and
they
Mickelson,
have their own stuff going on.
Mickelson, I believe, went to ASU and has. I think he's designed multiple, but he might own some courses like in Arizona. I think he owns courses all over, or definitely designed them. That's got to be a huge payday too.
Probably more design than own, but maybe.
Yeah, but I think maybe Google it. Is our Google machine working at all? See if you can even read it, T. I'm sorry. See if he owns any courses. Because he's probably playing those a lot, and he's probably going up against a club pro and his hack buddies. And, he could be giving up 18 strokes a round and, betting $100 a hole just to keep things interesting for someone like him.
Yeah. Mickelson Golf Properties sells off 6 courses to Arcis Golf. Okay. Oh, well, 1,000 videos. Let's see. Phil continues to be a star in the golf world with his trademark left-handed golf shot. He is proud to be the first Canadian golf course to carry his name and legend forward. So, I mean, I guess he's...
So is he branding like Trump?
I
or
think
is he...
so, probably.
Yeah.
I'd have to do a little more research because there's Mickelson Properties.
Yeah.
So whether he's the owner of that, if it's just using his name and likeness.
Yep, which would pay him a shitload anyways.
Yep, here we go. Let's see. Phil Mickelson adds to his golf course empire in Arizona with the purchase of Ocotillo Golf Club. So
Okay.
I guess he owns golf courses. We'll
Yeah.
say yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Which, the fact is, with what he's done in his career, he'll be able to make money no matter what forever.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
He can...
Yeah. You know what's funny is he doesn't have merch, really, like a brand.
Oh, like the Shark?
Yeah, I mean, and Tiger. I mean, so many of those guys have,
Are you sure he doesn't?
He might, but have you ever seen it?
No.
That's what I mean.
No.
So,
But I don't
he
know
might
how many
have some.
guys have...
But even where he wears that KPMF or whatever, shit,
KPMG? Or...
whatever it is, yeah.
Yeah, which is a investment?
Yeah.
Something
so
or other?
one of his early sponsors that he's just kept all along.
Yeah.
But you think,
Yeah, that does seem kind of weird.
Yeah, like
especially
one
as
of those-
like the main lefty in golf. Like you'd think there was
yeah,
a lot he could...
yeah. But yeah, I've never seen it. If there is, I've never seen anything with his name on it.
Official.
Yeah, type of merch.
Yeah.
Just seems odd. I
That
think somebody like
does.
that would have had a line.
Well,
somewhere.
did Jack have a line of?
Yep, 100%. Still does.
Really? Like when he
Arnie.
was playing or
Shark.
Shark has been doing it since the 90s probably, right? That's kind of what I remember. I mean, I suppose he could have been doing it earlier. Tiger, obviously, he signed with Nike before he went pro, I believe. And so he's been the Nike thing, but his shit has exploded for obvious reasons.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, that is weird.
That's all.
And
I
maybe
just
he
thought
does, and we just not aware of it, which would be equally weird.
Yep, right.
Does Ricky Fowler? I imagine Ricky Fowler probably has.
He probably has something.
I mean, they all have shoe deals and all that kind
and
of
he's
stuff.
with Puma, I think.
Right.
So he's got all the color shit that's kind of like the Fowler
Yeah.
line, but whether it's technically got his name on it or like his logo or something.
But I don't remember. Like, does Sergio? You would
I
think
don't
there'd
know.
be
I'm
a
just saying.
huge market for Sergio Garcia.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
But Phil, again, is above all those, and I just
Yeah.
don't, I've never seen or heard of any sort of merch line.
Yeah.
Just thought it was odd.
Yeah.
You're talking about his
Interesting.
revenue going forward.
Interesting. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe that's one he's going to tap into at some point. Yeah.
He could sell a lot of left-handed gloves.
Sure could. Yep. Hey, you had mentioned this to me yesterday. I hadn't seen it yet, but the guy breaking into his own car in Detroit.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
He's
yeah.
getting quite a bit of press now.
Yeah, I watched the Facebook Live video that went out originally with that.
Yeah.
And then, but I haven't done any follow-up on it.
Well, a black man, of course, we have to point out he's a black man,
Of course, sure.
was tackled. And you can imagine how many times they're going to reiterate black man.
Yep.
Black
Oh, yeah.
man.
Yep. And everything I saw, the cops were all white. I don't think I saw one black cop in
Which is
the
shocking.
mix. I know. But that's
DPD,
not
I
going to
mean-
help the story.
No, hell no. When you say a black man was tackled in a violent blah, blah, blah with cops, it makes it sound like the only reason that he was tackled was because he was a black man, which I think is just a step too far to just assume automatically, oh, well, he's black. Obviously, that's why they did anything.
Well, that's the temperature in the room right now.
True. He was tackled in a violent arrest with armed police officers. All
course they're
police
armed,
officers are
yeah.
armed. What is this, France? I mean, give me a break. Who caught him breaking into his own car after locking the keys inside. Oh, so were they aware that he was breaking into his own car when they came upon the scene, Gross? Doubt it.
No, of course not. And that's, we had this kind of discussion yesterday on how this went down because the only video I know starts after the fact. So
Right.
we have
As they all do.
right. We have no idea how this actually started, how the interaction started.
Well, there's quite a few people there by the time the video starts.
There's a lot of people.
Which means, unless they were having a block party,
Yeah.
I don't think that would have been the case.
Right.
So word got around quick. Neighborhood comes out.
Yep.
Footage has surfaced of the unidentified black man.
Oh, here we go.
From
Okay.
Detroit.
Yep, just making sure.
Being dragged to the ground by several police officers who repeatedly punched him while neighbors yelled and tried to intervene. Yeah, just good Samaritans.
Yeah, well,
God's work.
I mean, I did watch it, and it's a. Do we have any of the video or no?
We do.
Okay,
Yep.
I say it was a very difficult situation because, I feel for all parties involved. I can understand, the
Oh, shit.
the
Maybe I didn't pull it up.
the misunderstanding of I didn't see it. That's why.
Fuck. I thought I did, dude. I meant to.
Yeah.
It's like a 6-minute video, but
Right. So the cops roll up on somebody. My understanding of the situation is cops roll up on somebody using a coat hanger or whatever, trying to get into a car.
Right.
Okay. Well, that looks sus as shit. Right. So I don't know how hot they came into this situation. I don't know how this interaction actually started. It sounds like it was in his driveway.
sounds like they were driving by and
his
saw,
saw
the
that exactly
suspicious activity.
Exactly right, and stopped. Now, I don't know how defensive this person was right away. I don't know if they just came in fucking blasting because by the time the video starts, they're up on the front porch of this house. So it's not where it started. There's a
Right.
bunch of people around, and now everybody is screaming. It was his own car. It's his own car. It's his own car.
Some were saying that, yeah.
But but he's also fighting and resisting
Right.
this entire time. Bit one of the cops. They're trying to cuff him. He's struggling this whole time. They do end up punching him a little bit. But I think that's when he like turned around and bit one of the guys. Things like I can't remember the exact timeline of everything.
Yeah.
But it goes back to the okay, if you would have just, okay, let's fine. Okay, they're going to put you in cuffs to detain you while they question you. Okay?
Right.
If this turns out this is your house, this is your car, that there's nothing wrong here, they're probably not going to beat you. They're probably not going to arrest you. They're going to apologize and move on.
Yeah.
And the comment that we made yesterday was like, okay, well, if this was your car being stolen,
Yeah.
would you want them to respond?
Yeah. Would you want them to
Yes.
ignore the whole situation because a mob of people
Yeah.
in the neighborhood are
And
screaming?
if you walk up on somebody trying to break into a car, the first thing they're going to say is, "It's my car."
Right.
I would imagine.
Yes.
So you can't. You have
Or
to take
it's
that
my
with
buddy's car.
You have to take that with a grain of salt, and and this situation gets more and more heightened as more and more people are showing up, more and more people are yelling. Like it gets to the point where bystanders start putting hands on cops.
Dude, when
in
I
this.
saw that guy go up the porch and bear hug from behind
Yep.
two cops,
two cops, yeah,
I was like, dude, that's right there. That stupid move. First off, you have nothing to do with this.
Right.
You weren't the one the cops were talking to initially. You might think you're de-escalating, pulling. Don't bear hug cop from behind when he's wearing a utility belt with weapons all over it.
Sure,
What the
exactly.
fuck's that's how you get shot.
Like I said, it's a tragic situation on every level because again, I don't know how it got to this point because unfortunately we don't have that video.
Right.
I'm sure we do. We have body cam footage. I'm sure that just hasn't been released, or at least I haven't seen yet.
Right.
So we'll know eventually how this started and how it got to this point.
Right.
Right. But from this point, you got to understand that now this is two cops that are severely outnumbered with a suspect that's fighting and resisting this whole time.
Yeah.
And they seem to be pretty cool about this at first, right? But as this is going on and as it's getting more and more heightened and they can't seem to get cuffs on this guy.
Yeah.
And, now the clock is ticking, right? Like we got to get this situation under control. We have to get this guy restrained.
Yeah.
So
So we can figure things out.
to figure things out, you
Yeah.
know? So
And that is not the time to have a fucking block party meeting with the neighborhood to explain
Right.
what we saw, what we did.
Exactly.
Like, dude, no, this is not how this goes. Before pulling out handcuffs to arrest the unidentified,
black man.
yeah, there you go. One of the officers violently tugged the man's black hoodie. What do you think was on his black hoodie?
Black Lives Matter.
God, you're good.
Yeah.
You're
I saw
nailing
the
it.
video.
Yeah.
I cheated, but
I do love that kind of hockey move and then pull the jersey over someone's face to pound
Yeah,
him. They
yeah.
pulled his Black Lives Matter hoodie over his
Well,
face.
they didn't hit him while he pulled it down, but they did pull it
Yeah.
down. And I think it was because he was biting and spitting.
Yeah.
Is why they did it.
Yeah, which is a good move by the
Sure,
cops, in
yep.
my opinion.
Yeah.
When the cop tried to handcuff the,
Unidentified black man.
yes, he became visibly anxious and tried to resist the confinement, which resulted in the police becoming more aggressive.
Yeah. Like I said, that's where it escalates. Like I said, it's a tragic situation because it so many of these stories start and end the same way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
If this would be a calm, civil conversation by all parties involved,
And you've done nothing wrong.
and you've done nothing wrong, then everybody goes on their merry way, right? But he wants to be pissed off because they're targeting him. Well, you were breaking into a car.
Yeah.
Now, if it's yours, fine. Turns out that it's okay. No harm, no foul.
I think it's such a great point that if, first off, any criminal is going to do what criminals do. They're going to immediately go to a defensive mode of, it's
lie,
my
they're gonna
car.
resist,
It's
they're
my
gonna-
buddy's car.
Yeah, you're checking all the boxes of what somebody guilty would do.
Exactly. By the way, you're breaking into a car with a coat hanger or whatever in the driveway.
Yeah.
Cops rolling up on that should, I would hope, because to your point, if that's my car being broken into
Yep.
and it's not a misunderstanding, I would hope that they would not just let the guy go, it's my car, and walk
okay.
away.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, my
okay.
bad. Sorry, sir.
Wait,
Sorry to bother you.
so you let the guy, no, it wasn't his car. You mean criminals lied to you, officer, and you just let him walk, and he stole my fucking car.
Yep.
So thank you for all your help.
Yeah.
Protecting and serving, sir.
I mean, if this guy-
No, you
if-
wouldn't want that.
If this guy allows them to handcuff him, again, I get how ignorant this probably sounds on some level, but the reality is that it's not. Okay?
Yeah.
You have to also understand how the situation looks, to the police officers.
Right.
You're an idiot if you don't.
Nobody wants to.
Nobody
do that
wants
anymore.
to. Nobody wants to look through that lens.
No.
So you're only targeted. It's your house. It's your street. They have no business being there. No right to do this. Okay. Well, they're trying to understand the situation. If you'd have shut the fuck up, been detained.
Yeah.
Produced the paperwork that you needed to, showed the registration of the car, showed that you lived there. They'd have been gone in 30 seconds flat.
Easy.
30 seconds flat. Hell, they would have probably gone and got the shit out of the car to help you get into your car because they'll do that.
Hell yeah, they would.
Right. So, but instead, this is where we are. Why? Now, the main question comes down to why did this end up there? Why did it go this way? Was
Right.
it the officer's fault? Were they out of line? Did they come in too hot? Were
Maybe,
they too aggressive?
and there's an investigation that's going
Right.
on now to
Or
find
was this
out.
were these people just sort of unruly in their response to this thing and left the police in a no-win situation?
The other officers began to get physical with the spectators who were getting angrier and trying to defend the unidentified individual. By the way, trying to defend should go on in a courtroom or after we've got control of the situation. It
Right.
doesn't mean wildly screaming out shit at
Which
the
is
officers.
all it is.
Which is all it is.
And it becomes a mob mentality.
100%.
They're getting circled. They're being outnumbered.
The officer stood on the porch, took their guns out of their holsters, and pointed them in the direction of bystanders.
Yep. Is this before or after the guy went up and gave him the bear hug? Because I'm pretty sure it
Yeah,
was
it was after.
Exactly.
The police officer kept telling the rest of the group to back up while the man behind the camera repeatedly asked, "Oh, what?"
Yeah. That was after this when the other ones
Yeah.
when the other cops showed up.
I love this too. I can stand in the street. I pay my taxes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no one has a problem with you standing in the street, sir. The cops don't have a problem with you filming this either.
Right.
Like they're used to that now. They're all wearing cameras too. What you can't do is run up on the porch in mob mentality and start bear hugging cops.
Yeah.
When I saw that guy do that, I was like, they have to shoot him now.
Almost.
Seriously, what do you put yourself in someone else's position just for a moment?
You have no idea
You
what's going on.
cannot let that situation get that out of control.
You can't.
And that's why other cop cars pull up, and their job is to
And
keep people
they're
back.
heightened as soon as they show up. They don't know what they're getting into. They show up to, their officers outnumbered 10-1.
Yeah.
And a distress call from their officers.
Yeah.
They're going to come in hot.
Yeah.
They have no choice. And they don't have time to come walking in like, okay, who's in charge here? Oh, what's going on? Why don't you tell me the story? No,
not
you don't
how
have
that
time
works.
for that. Right. It's a
No.
distress call. They're coming in fucking assuming the worst.
And I got to tell you, the fact that the guy's wearing a Black Lives Matter hoodie, he can wear whatever he wants. That's fine. But it tells me that at least that individual has bought in hook, line, and sinker to an absolute bullshit narrative.
Right.
Right? That the narrative being.
Well, maybe
for
the
someone
story's
like
telling
him-
you different. Maybe the story's telling you that he's absolutely correct.
Yeah, maybe. But I'm not going to buy into the narrative that all cops are just driving around looking for black men to harass and kill. Like that's what the Black Lives Matter narrative has been pushing for years now.
Right.
And the fact that he's wearing that hoodie says he at least supports that narrative. So obviously, Black Lives Matter. That goes.
Say it.
Yeah, all lives matter. T. It goes without saying that everybody. But society only works if there's a level of mutual respect between all parties involved. Now, that doesn't mean the criminal in quotes this time, because at the point the cops don't know what they're dealing with yet.
Fair. Totally fair.
Only works like you would expect the criminal to lie, say outrageous shit. As you know, I was a cop.
Yeah.
Well, at least I went to ride along for a day. But when I was on the beat, the people that ended up in the back of our squad car said outrageous shit. They just screamed shit out and they wouldn't stop talking.
Yeah.
Like anything. How do I get out of this car? Like they're programmed to try to get the fuck out of this car and on with my day and have these guys not talk to me, not look at me, not arrest me. But when you've got a situation, so I expect whoever is the focus of whatever investigation is going on in that moment, I expect him to be full of shit. I expect him to do and say whatever he can. He's going to run. He's going to hop a fence. He's going to fucking do whatever. But what you don't want is the rest of society. What are you laughing at?
Clown.
Yeah. I don't want the rest of society has to play along and cooler heads prevail. Like, no, dude. we're not all just going to start screaming shit out and flailing wildly at police in that situation. Now, what are the clown?
That's fine. It's not worth repeating. But
are we assholes and racists?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's just say we're probably QAnon.
Awesome.
No, listen, it's, again, like I said, I don't know how this thing started, right? And I'm sure the sad reality is that there's no way this needed to go this direction, right? This absolutely
and nobody got shot.
Nobody got
killed.
Right, exactly right. So I mean, when you think about the situation that they're in, I mean, you could say that they showed amazing restraint.
Yeah.
All things considered. Somebody coming up when you're wrestling with a suspect and a bystander comes up and puts hands on you. Yeah, that can go real bad real quick.
Yeah.
And so the fact that nobody did actually get hurt, but
it's kind of remarkable.
It is. It really is. So I mean, everybody wants to bash on these cops, And
it's not about the guilt or innocence of someone in the moment.
No, it's not. I mean, you have to understand the situation. 100%.
And it's got to be both sides understanding the situation.
And that this could have been handled, I can guarantee, in under a minute, civilly and calmly. Mm-hmm. But like I said, even by the time I see the video, dude's already fighting, resisting. They're trying to cuff him, and it's like, okay, if it's two sides of the same coin. You could say, okay, well, if you're not guilty, then what's the problem? What? Let them cuff you, figure it out. But they say, okay, well, if I'm not guilty,
cuff you means while you're sitting on the porch right there.
Yeah, that's just detaining to figure out the situation. How many times you see a guy's cuffed sitting on the side of the road
and then
right
uncuffed
there, and then uncuffed?
Later.
Okay, this is just for to figure this thing out. Let's see what's going on until I know whether you're staying or you're coming with me.
And they probably wouldn't have even cuffed him had it just been a normal conversation.
Not. Had you been able to just have this conversation,
right?
And how they get from him being in the car to, on the porch, I don't know.
Yeah,
is he trying to get in the house and they're not letting him? Of course, I can't let you go in the house. I don't know what you got in there. You could have an AK sitting on the other side of the door. Yeah. I can't allow that to happen.
No.
It's sad. It's shame. And it's a real shame that some people will just automatically assume the cops are wrong. Right?
Yeah.
No benefit of the doubt whatsoever.
A lot of people will.
Yeah, a lot of people. Most of them. And I was going through the comments
just
watching
not fair.
Watching that live video. When that was broadcast on Facebook Live. I didn't watch it live, but I watched the live video after the fact. And I mean, the comments were, all of it. Just fuck the police, those fucking animals, we're going to sue them for everything. Like, why? What, you know what I mean? Tell me again.
Yeah.
Where this went wrong and why.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. If you don't appreciate that coming in blind to a situation, seeing something suspicious and not knowing what's going on, like that can be a simple misunderstanding that's cleared up in minutes. Or it can turn into something where you've endangered the lives of a lot of people around you. And when you start grabbing cops from behind, that's how you get shot.
No doubt.
I don't know what else to tell you. It just
I was the first one
and I don't want to see that at all.
No.
That's horrible for everybody involved, for society, for members of that neighborhood.
I don't even want to see videos like this. But here we are.
Yeah.
And I'm the first one to say, I don't know who's necessarily right or wrong in this situation because I didn't see the start of this video. And you know what? Aside from the people that were there, nobody else out there does either.
Yeah.
So to even have an opinion on necessarily who's right or who's wrong on this, it shows your ignorance. Mm-hmm. Okay? Because they could have been totally out of line in this thing. They could have come in way too hot. They could have been totally the aggressors in this situation. And it turns out that they're going to be wrong.
Yeah.
And that body cam footage will come out and we'll find out.
Yeah.
Right? But I can only explain from the point that I saw on, and to be honest with you, I feel like at that point nobody got shot. The fact that nobody got shot in that situation is pretty amazing.
Yeah,
that they didn't turn around, but they drew guns and people backed up.
I had lengthy arguments with my mom, who can be very liberal. She was a parole officer, probationer in Detroit, and so she dealt with a lot of people that were, hated the cops and were on the wrong side of the law a lot. And so she's got a lot of empathy towards a lot of people.
Sure.
And she's the first one to say that cops don't always do the right thing. And a lot of times they're wrong. They come in hot. And,
very true.
All that kind of stuff. And I remember my dad and I were arguing with her one day, and it was another one of these shootings. I don't even remember which one. And it was like,
maybe that's part of the problem, Mike.
Well, I mean, it could be one of 12, over a 2-year period. But, trying to explain, like, look, there's two. If you haven't done anything or whatever, like going to, we're gonna fight the police right away. Never goes your way. Never. That's. Can we at least establish that?
Right.
That in the best interest of all parties involved, one way to guarantee that you don't get shot is to just be reasonable in your discussion with them.
Yeah, usually not just rolling up license and registration and then capping you execution style.
Tamir Rice, aside.
Yeah, but I didn't say never, and I've never said that there's not enough fault to go around.
Sure.
But overall, generally speaking, these incidents are escalated unnecessarily.
Right.
That's all I'm saying.
Right. And if that's the cop, shame on him.
Handled.
If that's the cop coming in hot, we've seen that bully.
Definitely.
We've absolutely seen that bully on video. I was watching, they're on TikTok all the time. People are filming these interactions with cops like crazy. And there was a guy trying to go to his house, but the road was blocked, but it was only available to people that lived on that street.
Yeah.
One of those situations,
right.
No through traffic, blah, blah, blah. And so this guy's trying to make the turn to go there, and there's a cop there, and he's just a dick.
Just won't let him go, even though he lives there.
He's giving him shit, and the guy's like, fuck you, cop.
Yeah.
Fuck you. Not smart.
No.
Not the best way to get along with your day.
Yep.
But he knew he was in the right, and he was like, oh, go fuck yourself, man. I live over there. I'm just driving. The guy's like, fine. And the guy kind of fucking punches it. Doesn't squeal his tires or anything like that, but goes quick. I'll admit I've done this too to cops at the airport where I'm just like, they're like, fucking move. And I'm just like, and the cop got really pissed at me. And I felt like a dick afterwards because I was in the wrong. I got frustrated and and so this cop immediately hops in his cruiser, throws it into gear, squeals the tires and pulls the guy over 20 feet later. And he's being a dick the whole time.
Right.
And it's dude, you could have done a better job. First off, just let the fucking guy go.
Sure. There's no reason for that.
You didn't need to fucking come in hot like a tough guy cop.
Right.
All that shit.
Well, the other part that you don't take into account necessarily, like you. Yeah, you got annoyed the way he was talking to you, the way it was handled, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But that's you. That's your one incidence with that one cop. Understand that cop has had 5,000 interactions
probably
in the
that day alone.
With that day alone of other people, right? So it's not exactly apples to apples.
Right.
It's, people are so worried about, what their one interaction was or whatever, not taking any consideration into the fact that you're the fucking 10,000 person that squealed their tires and revved by him and not listened to what he had to say.
Right.
I'm not making it right. I'm just putting it in perspective.
Yeah. No, that's fair. That's
and
fair.
same thing. This guy, this guy could have been a total asshole too. But this could
cop?
have, and it seems like he is, and they absolutely exist.
Well,
but
I'm not willing to say he is.
Well, whatever. My point is that
I would hope if
this
someone
could have been
was,
the 400th guy trying to get by there that doesn't live there or whatever. It just,
it's just ignorant to automatically take a side, whichever side you're taking.
Mm-hmm.
If you automatically assume because the media has trumped up a handful of stories with a narrative push, that all of a sudden that means all interactions with cops are that, and they're always wrong, and just taking that perspective makes you a fucking asshole too.
Yep.
Right?
Definitely.
It just does. So we are not defending the cops or the fucking, perp or innocent guy in this situation.
Every single...
understanding the whole situation, like fully recognizing we don't know what happened before. Every situation's different, and we're not just going to automatically condemn the police for this.
Nope, but there's a lot of people that will. Automatically take that side.
They're known as assholes. So fuck them.
There's some of that.
Plenty of that. You know who else are assholes?
Who that?
The teenage kids. Did you see the teenagers who ran the ex-cop over? Now, they didn't know he was an ex-police chief or whatever.
No, I did not.
Yeah, they one guy's filming, and this is in Vegas, and they mowed down a retired police chief. I think we have the video.
That one we do.
This one here.
Okay.
This is from a few days ago.
All right.
I've had the story for a few days. We just haven't gotten to it.
Let's see. Ooh, warning graphic content. I like it when
and
it
it's
starts
not
that.
because they're going to cut it off.
Yeah, I like it when it starts that way, though.
Yeah.
Ready? Yeah.
Hit his ass.
Holy shit.
Oh, they did show the whole video.
Holy shit. What kind of fucking psychopath?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was thinking like in traffic, something like he's in front of the car,
No.
they go.
Nah, guy's just riding his bicycle down the road.
Holy shit.
I can't believe the New York Post showed that whole
Showed the
video
actual
like
video,
that.
yeah, right.
Every media story I've seen about the story cuts the video right as they get up to his back tire.
Wow.
So the two fucking pieces of shit that are driving this car, stolen car, by the way.
Oh my God.
Teenagers, nice job, assholes, ruining your entire life.
Yeah.
They're laughing about it like, should I hit his ass now? He's like, yeah, hell yeah, hit his ass.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, the guy that was struck there was Andreas Probst, 64 years old. The 17-year-old motorist behind the wheel of a 2016 Hyundai Elantra. Both boys have been charged with murder and will be tried as adults. Good.
Yeah, good.
Good.
Good. Oh my God, that makes my fucking stomach turn.
Yeah. Dude, it's the rot that we see throughout society over and over and over, and it's just
the lack
just
of
so
regard
disheartening,
for
man. It's so
human
disheartening.
beings.
They also tied the teens to at least 3 hit and run incidents the same day. They believe the slaying of Prost ended the spree. So they'd done this, stolen a couple different cars, ran over a few cyclists.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah, laughter and comments from inside the car are heard before Probst was struck and thrown against the windshield. Final image shows the cop on the ground beside the former cop. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
he wasn't in uniform or anything like that. He's a retired guy. On the ground beside the curb, and I'll be clear: these clowns had no idea that.
No, it doesn't matter, regardless whether
No.
he's a cop or not. It's a fucking human.
Human, exactly.
Animals.
Police Chief Nick Farees called the intentional hit in a stolen vehicle a cowardly act, and in my 22 years of law enforcement left me personally appalled. DA Steve Wolfson has taken a personal interest in the case and vowed to charge both teens as adults. Yeah, when you're talking 17 years old, they know exactly what the fuck they're doing.
Exactly. You're
No,
not hiding under that last 6 months.
Justice will be served. Taylor Probst, the daughter, and I know what you're going to ask. I don't know if she's hot. I really don't.
Yeah.
Described her father as a man of honor and integrity who worked for more than 35 years in law enforcement. We are devastated by the senseless murder of Andy. Andy's life was robbed by 2 individuals who did not believe that lives of others matter. We believe Andy's murder is a direct result of society's decayed family values and the strong effects that social media has on our youth. We ask you not to politicize or use Andy's murder to fuel political agendas or to create cultural wars. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. His death should be treated the same way he lived, with honor and integrity, and maybe a dark joke here or there. Oops, too soon is something Andy would say. So they weren't aware of this video until weeks later. A school resource officer, these fuckfaces, filmed it.
Yeah.
And then probably shown it to friends, whatever. And a school resource officer got wind of it, turned it over to cops, and now they've charged him with murder.
This was an unsolved murder at this point?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, they did get the driver in custody.
Oh, they got him, but they didn't know about the video
Yes.
of it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So they thought at first it was just an accident, hit and
Gotcha.
run type thing.
Oh.
And then the other kid that was filming, they haven't identified him or released his age. Apparently he was a teen as well. I'm assuming he was probably 16, 17, 18, one of those.
Not 18. He'd be an adult.
Yes, true. Crime spree began around 5:30 a.m. when the teens struck a 72-year-old bicyclist before driving off and crashing into a Toyota Corolla.
And then jump out and steal another car.
Yeah. And I'll be honest with you, T.
Delete.
It is proving very, very difficult for me to defend cyclists.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's not easy to do.
No, and believe me, I mean, yeah, this is unexcusable, but I mean, as far as lowest common denominator,
it's tough.
Yeah.
It's taken everything I've got.
Yeah.
To be honest with you.
It didn't look like this. It didn't look like he was wearing the stupid spandex shit. So he had that going for him.
Did he? Let's watch it again.
I don't think. No, I don't want to see it again.
He didn't have the helmet.
No.
Yeah, and that killed him.
Yeah, could you imagine? Oh yeah, there's a fucking story for wearing a helmet.
Yeah, it's why you don't jog, you don't cycle, you just don't do that shit. It's too dangerous.
Yeah,
too dangerous out there. And
be safe out there.
yeah, but just the level of disregard for human life from people is on a level I've never seen before.
Yeah.
I know they claim the world's safer, and we just know more about it because of social media and the internet and all that kind of stuff.
Bullshit.
But boy, oh boy, does it feel like
Bullshit.
we see it too often where some old lady's getting her ass kicked by some fucking clown in a subway station and 10 people around it, and 9 of them have their phones out.
Yep.
We see that too often
Right.
to just be like, oh yeah, a rare occasion. No,
On some
seems
level,
like that's
fine.
the way people behave.
The other women in the situation, okay, film it so that there's documentation of this clown. You know what I mean? So that we can identify him later.
Yeah.
But anybody else, it's just crazy to me that people don't get involved in stuff.
I know.
It's staggering to me. It's so disheartening to
Yeah.
me that people stand by idly and not only just don't get involved, right? Because there's some of that now is just like, nope, not my business. Like, I can't imagine living in New York City. You know what I mean? The shit you would see on a daily basis,
Yeah.
that you just become numb and desensitized to it.
Sure.
And just like, it's not me. It's not my problem. I just fucking keep your head down and just keep walking.
Yeah.
But, everywhere else in the world, like, so we've lost all sense of community.
Oh, that's
sense.
so gone. And it's, I just always had the thought in my head, like when we were growing up, if there was, I was just thinking about it yesterday. I remember a fist fight between two people I knew, 2 friends. And we were probably freshmen in high school at the time. And it was like, 3:00 at the elementary school, playground. And one guy clearly got the better of the other. And as soon as it got to the point where it was like, okay, you bloodied his nose, you've made a statement here, everybody jumped in and pulled him apart.
Enough. Yep. Enough.
And it was like, I can't remember, but it was almost like, shake hands at the end of it. Like, hey.
In a way, right? Now everybody, they run in and kick him in the face when he's unconscious.
Exactly.
That's attempted murder.
Exactly.
It should be.
As it should be.
Yep.
And it's just very disheartening because I always thought that at the end of the day, if someone did something to you walking around the streets, that humanity would step in and help. But we've seen too many. It's like someone's knocked the fuck out and people are just like stepping over them. One I saw recently, a woman got, she was coming off a bus. It might have been in New York City.
Probably. Sounds about right.
Stepping off a bus and some guy jacks her and down she goes. Of course, she's an old bird.
Yeah.
She goes down and someone else comes off the bus and leans over her and then steals her fucking wallet. And you're just like,
Yep.
Of course he did.
Delete.
Of course you went through her fucking pockets.
Yeah.
Absolute dregs of
Right.
society.
Bad enough the guy that knocked her the fuck out did it as a robbery.
Right.
But somebody else, instead of
Or
helping
just
the lady.
for fun.
Yeah.
Just to knock some broad
Well, I'm
down.
just saying, I mean, if he did it and then took her purse, like, at least that checks out,
Right.
But to have somebody else just take advantage of the situation just
Yeah.
shows the dregs that we're in.
Yeah, I saw a video recently too, and it might have been older, I don't know, but it was some black guy walking down the street, elderly, and some young black guy comes up behind him with a brick and just cracks him over the back of the head. Remember that one?
Yeah, and just dropped it.
And it's just like, God damn, how do you get to that point? How do you get there?
How do you do that exactly to just a random person? Like, it's one thing if it's somebody you got beef with or, after a fight or something, you know what I mean? If you're settling a score. But to just go up to some random stranger and do that, the knockout game, the stuff like that.
The knockout game's terrifying.
I know it. It's just, I mean, it
worst shit ever.
Doesn't even compute in my fucking brain.
No.
Dude.
And the fact that it's caught on camera. Now, to be fair, I don't know if it was just like a Ring doorbell cam.
The brick one was, yeah, it was
It was.
surveillance
Okay, so it
video.
wasn't like a friend was staged across the street to film it, because
No.
that wouldn't shock me either.
No, but that's the way it is for the, usually the knockout game and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're filming it.
Yeah.
That's the whole point of it.
Just awful. And I want every one of those, and I don't give a shit if they're 13 years old or 17 years old. I want all of them prosecuted to the absolute fullest.
Fullest extent of the law.
100%.
No doubt.
Charge them as adults.
Yep.
Charge them with attempted murder, which is what it is. You cannot walk up to a elderly person and club them with a brick and let them collapse into a heap on the cement. And
For no reason than personal enjoyment.
And I don't give a shit what the reason is.
Yeah.
But for personal enjoyment, for laughs at your school with your buddies, fuck you. You can go to prison for the rest of your life.
Delete.
Because you have.
I don't even want to pay for 'em. Delete.
And even if that person doesn't die which they easily could. It's probably 50-50. You get an old person collapse on the sidewalk and smack their head, they're dead.
Yeah.
Even if they don't, you've so scarred them for life.
Yeah.
They're going to be looking over their back in horror every time they leave the house.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
The fact that act should be penalized differently, whether the person actually died or not, is laughable.
Irrelevant.
Yeah, it should,
irrelevant.
It's it's attempted murder.
Yep.
Regardless, should carry the same, just because they managed to survive.
Yeah.
Should be the same fucking.
And that should be a murder charge.
Yeah.
Whether they die or not, attempted murder charge.
That's what I'm saying.
Different. If you're coming out of a bar, two drunk assholes in a bar, and they get into a fist fight, someone gets clocked, and out they go, and they hit their head and die. Yep. That's to me different.
Agreed.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's unfortunate.
That person dying
horrible.
is less egregious than this person than the person with the brick not dying.
Not dying.
Much less.
100% agree. Some outrage at a California restaurant, T.
Okay.
They've sparked controversy, believe it or not, after it was revealed that all of its customers receive a compulsory 18% service charge, even for parties of one.
Okay.
These people are so out of line with this stuff.
Yeah, on some level, yep.
I'm very familiar with this area, Cupertino. Okay, so there's multiple locations, and they're all right there in that Silicon Valley.
Okay.
Cupertino is where Apple is and all that. So you've seen it.
I have.
A diner goer who recently ate at Fu Ha Nui.
Okay.
I found their Chinese food there is shit, and I don't know if that's Chinese or if that's
that might be Vietnamese.
Vietnamese,
some of
yeah.
that faux shit, whatever that is.
Garbage. I gotta be honest with you. You'd think with as many of the community that's living there that it'd be just second to none.
Be careful; it's a slippery slope you're on. I just wanted you to tread carefully.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
So this gentleman spent $62.93 with an extra $8.91 added due to the required service charge.
Okay.
Customer said, I've seen restaurants include gratuity when it's a large party, but never for parties of one. Many expressed their disdain, despite the charge being mentioned at the bottom of the restaurant receipt in bold letter, with one even saying it was a neat way to lose customers. Well, it doesn't do any good if it's at the bottom of the receipt.
No. Well, I mean, I go back to the old, Roosevelt days, the old double dip. We'd have these big parties or huge, tabs, and then you were allowed, and usually it's parties of 8 or more, whatever your establishment puts that out on there, so that you're not going to get screwed. Have a $1,000 bill, and they're like, "Here's $20, thanks."
Yeah.
So they put a standard 15-18%, gratuity onto it.
Right.
Now,
most people wouldn't notice. They were banking on you all being shit-faced.
Exactly right, and that's what it was. So that we called that the double dip because we would just not say it was on the bill. It wasn't hidden. It was just but when you're talking about a Christmas party of 100 people, and it's a $10,000 bill, and an itemized bill is this long, they're not going to see that, and the guy's so fucking blasted at the end that it's going on the corporate fucking Amex.
Yeah, and it comes
you
up
guys
with,
were great. Here's an extra,
$400.
Right.
And the tip line is still blank. It doesn't say
Exactly.
already applied 18%.
You can add more to it, right? So it just is a last line item on there, and if you're not paying attention,
and you're going back to the '90s. That's probably not as. The double dip is probably not like most parties would know now.
Now, yes, that was pretty early on.
An 8 top is gonna generate an auto.
Right.
Whatever, which is still kind of bullshit, honestly.
On some level, yeah.
I mean, it probably started for a reason. Yeah. People were getting screwed over. I'm like, this is outrageous. My entire section was taken up by this group who didn't leave.
And then you get nothing
And then
out of
they
it.
left me $40. I've been working here all fucking night. Their bill was $2,000.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, I can see it as some sort of protection, for the server to make sure that they're, we've dedicated this amount of time and energy and resources to this table. It's worth X.
Right.
But whether you go out of your way to say, hey, there's already a gratuity on there, and I did. There were times that I didn't say anything, but there were plenty of times that I did say something on it, because I also found that I would
100%.
By pointing that out to somebody, they would be like, "Oh, good for you. Here you go."
Yeah, I ran into that too.
Yeah, And if they saw it, they wouldn't put anything on top of it. If you could run the risk, of doing it, but then sometimes they could contest it the next day.
Yep.
Come back and come back after.
Now you
it.
owe them money.
Right.
Yeah.
But I would be like, hey, just so you know, there's a tip on there. There's already 18% added. If you want, you're welcome to go above and beyond that. If you feel like your service was exceptional today,
Sure.
Like, you a guy, try it. Yeah, here you go. And it's most of it's corporate shit money, and they don't care.
Yeah.
But
some people took issue with the wording on the receipt, which said
that's
for
not
parties
gratuitous.
of one or larger, which is a
that?
convoluted way of saying everybody's charged
Everybody,
18%.
right, exactly.
Seems like raising prices by 18% across the board would solve this issue without enraging everyone quite as much. If the service charge is not posted on the doors or menu, you can opt not to pay it. It was not disclosed before purchase. I'd simply revise the bill and not pay it. I Googled the location. Yelp has the sign on the door going back to November of last year saying that the gratuity was so the company can bump pay. Also, the sign reads, additional gratuity is appreciated but not expected, and they'll remove it if you're unsatisfied. Phu Ha Nui first opens its doors in San Jose in 2016. They've also got one in Palo Alto. So you're talking, it seems like that's overkill.
Yeah.
Palo Alto, Cupertino, and San Jose, they're blocks of each other for the most part.
So are McDonald's.
Yeah, that's true. But for this isn't a chain fast food joint, I wouldn't think, but maybe it is. I've noticed it with Taco Bell's really pissed me off because every once in a while I get a hanker and I'm like, I'll go get 2 hard shell tacos, 2 bean burritos, right? Simple, easy. And they are constantly, would you like to round up to save the kids?
Yeah. But
and I'm like,
kids? My kids?
Yeah. First off, I think you're full of shit. I don't know who these kids are you're saving all the time, but they do it. It's like, okay, round up is one thing. You've asked me would I like to round up. Round up to me only applies if you're also willing to round down, right? So if it comes in at 18.87 and you go, would you like to round up the 13 cents to make it 19? You go, that's fair. What I've run into multiple times is a bill that's $16.03. Would you like to round up to $20? I'm like, fine.
Doesn't it usually just round up to the next dollar?
Yeah, from 16.03 to 17.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they don't differentiate.
So they want 97 cents. It's like, no. Like,
again, you have the option to not.
Right,
I'd like
which
to know
I
where
did
that money
last
goes.
time. That's the first time I just pulled away. I was like, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, I generally say no to that anyway.
Do you?
Yeah. Well,
I always feel bad. And if it's something like, it's $18.87, I don't mind. Take the 13 cents.
Well, I'm curious.
I know you're full of shit, but I don't care.
Well, my question, though, is that so do they take that money that they raise through every store that they have? Let's just say in the course of a campaign, it ends up being $1 million because 50 cents adds up over everybody
probably
through the thing.
Way more than $1 million.
Right. So we'll just
talking every location.
Yeah. Well, then, so does Taco Bell then get to donate that and write it off?
Yeah, of course they do.
Okay. Well, I'm not cool with that. I don't get to write off my 17 cents.
Yeah, it's like the Rock and Oprah. We'll take all your money and then we'll donate it in our names.
Right.
Yeah, fuck you.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Hey, this part of the show is brought to you by the Backcourt. I still want to call it the back door.
I know.
I'm just saying. This show is brought to you by the Backcourt Restaurant in Clarkston. Located in the Deer Lake Athletic Club, the Backcourt combines first-class service with a relaxed, friendly atmosphere and a chef-inspired menu. They have daily dinner specials throughout the week, live music on Friday nights, and on Friday and Saturday, the best damn prime rib in town. Amen.
Yeah, it's very good.
Yeah,
their fillets are great,
We got to get back out there, man.
Yeah.
Next time you're heading out for
Wait,
dinner
I think he was
drinks.
coming by this weekend.
Is he?
Yeah.
What up, Forey?
Yeah, Forey was.
Next time you're heading out for dinner or drinks, stop by the Backcourt Restaurant in Clarkston. You can call them at 248-625-8686 or visit DeerLakeAthleticClub.com.
He'd like us to do a get-together over there, too.
We're running out of summer now.
Yeah. Well, I don't care about the pool. I know he always brings up the pool,
thing
but
we were talking about before.
Yeah. We had some listeners there the other day that reached out to me and were like, oh my God, there's an Elvis impersonator here. Because they have live music and shit. People are dancing.
That's probably the same guy that was there when we were there. He kind of had that vibe. I don't know that he was truly Elvis impersonator. He wasn't dressed like
he
had that sort of coif, that Larry Cole look.
And he was good. He played multiple instruments. He was fun. And there's some older people there fucking getting their groove on. It's a fun atmosphere, and the food's great.
Yeah.
The food is really great.
Billy Westfall went out there with his daughter, I guess, the first time.
Oh, okay. Is she
told
hot?
me, I don't know, but he He told me that he got out there and did the Cupid Shuffle.
All right. Good for him.
With Big Forey.
Good for him.
Forrest.
Forrest. That's right. Radio4one.com is live. You can get merch there. T-shirts are available. T-shirts are available in there. I know they weren't for a little bit, but they're in there now. Sweatshirts, hats, winter beanies. You want to get one of those before winter kicks in. Amazon link and Amazon Canada. Critical. You guys use that stuff. I hate repeating myself, but need to keep reminding people. Just go to radio4one.com, click on the Amazon or Amazon Canada link. It just gives us a small kickback, but every little bit helps. MyPillow, promo code TDC is great. So whether you buy the new MyPillow 2.0 or whatever he's calling it.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
Yeah, it's great. I love it. I have 2 of them.
Yep.
They're awesome. Link to our Patreon page as well. We put new content in there all the time. We did this past weekend, I thought, a really good episode. And so for our members that are in there, they get to enjoy that.
We have a new member.
We do.
We do.
Who do we got?
Nick Georgioff.
Georgioff?
Yes, which is very fortunate that it's not Jack.
Yeah, yeah. Nick Jackoff would be cool.
Would it be cool?
Yeah, I think it'd be cool to have Jackoff as a name. Georgioff is almost cooler.
Yeah.
Because everybody's going to think Jackoff or Beat Off.
Yeah, it's got a sort of a Hasselhoff vibe to it a little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
Wonder what the OFF is. Like Hasselhoff, Georgioff. What nationality that is. Off. That's like Austrian or something, perhaps. I don't know why that comes in my mind.
Yeah. I was thinking Swede. But I don't know. The Hoff. Well, welcome.
Yes.
Mr. Beatoff, Jackoff, Georgioff. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Jesus. I'll get it right as we go forward.
Let's see. North German. From the personal name Offo.
Like
short
Beat
from the
Offo?
ancient Germanic name Ottfried, composed. Okay, unless that's a first
Say
name.
that again?
I'm not.
Okay.
Yeah, you could try and read that. First of all,
Hell no.
yeah, there's letters and shit in there that I don't even understand.
Oh, do they have squiggly lines above them and dots?
There's a lot of stuff. Yeah, that's just not
a lot of nonsense going on.
Up, yeah.
Yeah. Seen that.
Okay. Anyway,
Okay. Well, welcome aboard.
we're gonna go with
Mr. Off.
North German.
North German.
Yeah.
Okay.
And be fortunate that you weren't Jack Off. You're
Yeah.
George Off.
Yep. Like that. Should we do an Ask T-Roy?
Oh yes, please.
All right.
Pretty please.
Dear T-Roy, last night, my husband
God
and
damn it!
sorry,
Sneak attack.
I didn't write it.
I know.
My husband and I were eating at a popular restaurant when the owner started talking to the diners at the next table. We've seen that guy, the guy making the rounds.
Yeah, of course, sure.
The traditional Janop's move.
Hey, I was front of house
Janopoulos.
manager. That was part of what we had to do.
Hell yeah.
Go around, fucking interact with the customers.
Now, the topic was bathrooms. What people leave behind and cleaning up after them. The people he was talking to had finished their dinner by the time we sat down, so this subject didn't bother them. I got up, tapped the owner on the shoulder, and asked if he could please talk about something else because people within earshot were eating. He took offense and said it shouldn't bother anyone. Then he ordered me to go get my money back and leave. Oh, I feel like there was some sort of interaction.
Very possible. I don't know that we're getting the full story there.
Yeah. See,
I would like to know what your response to that statement there was, ma'am.
It seems like that escalated really quickly.
I think we've got a bit of omission in this. Yeah.
Yes. I sat back down to try to finish eating when he came over, threw money on our table, told us to leave immediately and never come back.
Okay.
I feel like there's a few sentences missing there again.
Probably, yes. Unfortunately, he reserves the right to refuse service to anybody at any time.
Yeah. My husband and I were...
Unless they're gay and want a cake.
Right. I was going to say black, but yeah, you're right. My husband and I were dumbfounded.
That's the 18% added on.
Yeah, there you go. We were dumbfounded. We stared at each other for a moment, then left our plates and walked out. Was I wrong? Was I overly sensitive or rude? We were brought up to not discuss bodily functions at the dinner table. If I had been the owner, I would have apologized and changed the subject. I am so offended by this. If I was wrong, I will send the owner a written apology. Heard too much.
Again, I'm assuming that we're not getting the absolute full story there. But, yeah, okay. Then why would you want to be in this guy's restaurant anyway? If this is a guy that's got potty mouth and treated you like that.
Well, if he's talking about shits and people shitting on the toilet seat.
That's fine. And I mean, but my point is that, okay, if that's the way you handle the situation, if you went to him and said, hey, that's disgusting and I don't really want to hear it,
right.
And not even more so like, hey, maybe you pay more attention next time, as opposed to, I'm offended. I want something for this. And the guy treats you like that, then I would get up and walk out anyway.
Yeah.
And it sounds like he had to go get their money. So they already paid? Is this some sort of fine establishment where you go and get your food and pay for it and then sit down and eat?
Yeah. I don't know.
First class all the way.
The problem with this, and I didn't finish reading that. I was like, oh, that's interesting. Just the thought of like an inappropriate conversation at a table next to you with the owner. Like, okay. The fact is there are multiple times in that story where you yada yada some important shit.
Exactly.
You fast forwarded through some parts of the story.
Yep.
Whether it was the 20 minutes of you being a cunt.
We got everything
after
he
the
said.
fact.
We didn't get everything you said,
right.
I'm sure.
And him throwing money down on the table, demanding you leave and never come back.
Yes.
Says that it was more than just, would you mind not talking about potty stuff while we're eating dinner? Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, it's something else went on there. I don't know what it was. Blah, blah, blah. All right, let's do an email and get out of here.
Let's.
We got shit to do.
Yes,
I got some good emails that I'll get to tomorrow, but we're running a little low on time. So, the Paul brothers.
Okay.
So Logan
and
Jake. Guys, I couldn't disagree more with you about the Paul brothers. If they were serious about their boxing careers, they would get sanctioned fights. They wouldn't have to grind through the lower tiers of boxing for very long to get major fights because of their celebrity stature. But they can't do that. They would lose 100% of the real fights. So they fight has-beens and never-weres, knowing that they won't get an actual fight.
Yeah, but they also make way more doing these fights than they would climbing their way up the ranks.
Yeah.
And I don't know that any of them aspire to be boxers necessarily. This is just where they're at.
I think Jake's legit.
I'm not saying he's not. I'm just saying that that's not everything he wants to do. And that's where he's at in this point in time. And he's controlling this situation as opposed to being sanctioned, coming up through the ranks. That's.
But isn't he fighting real fighters now? Aren't they both fighting?
But not boxers. He's not fighting boxers. He's taking. It started out with like ex-athletes, basketball players.
Right. I remember that. Right. That was early.
And now he's taking washed up MMA fighters and boxing them. But I mean, he beat.
Nick Diaz.
Yeah, Diaz. Nick Diaz. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know enough about Nick or Nate Diaz.
Listen, I mean, what I know about Nick Diaz is he's one of the toughest fucking guys on the planet.
They're professional fighters.
Yeah, and I mean
lifelong.
But this is one of the guys that will just stand there and go toe to toe with you, right? You can't knock down, you can't knock out, But again,
who, Diaz?
Yes.
Yeah.
Boxing is a sport. Right, whereas MMA, of course, is a sport, but that's way more violent and brutal and involved. Boxing, pugilism is a scoring test
system,
basically.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Mayweather, the greatest defensive boxer ever, and probably outscored every fight he's ever been in, outscored every boxer that ever lived.
Yeah, but he wasn't going to knock.
But he wasn't going to knock anybody out.
Yeah,
right, and would lose.
So he knew how to play the game and how to score and win,
right.
which is why he's undefeated in his career and never got knocked out.
And it's not. I mean, if you watch these fights with the Paul brothers, I mean, they're not technically sound fights. They're okay.
I don't know enough about him. I did hear Joe Rogan talking about someone was ragging he had someone on his show months ago that was kind of ragging on like the gimmick. And he was like, whoa. That dude's not fucking around.
No, he's
taking it seriously.
He's putting the work in 100%.
He's working. His technique is not that bad. And I don't know enough about it, honestly.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
But, Rogan's got enough of a history with those types of sports that
absolutely
that I don't not trust him.
You put him in a boxing match with a current boxer in his prime, he'll lose.
Yeah,
but I mean,
that's what everybody said all along about every fight he's had.
Well, that's true, and I mean, like I said, I'm not even sure what the point of Connor's email there was, as far as
because I'd watched the documentary.
That he's no good, and if he was any good, he'd get sanctioned and come up through the thing and get a real fight. Well, like I said, I promise
he can make $100 million
what do you think he's making on these fights?
Right.
And without
that's
having
what I mean.
Yeah, without having
he can make $100 million just doing his own damn
exactly.
thing.
And you don't make that when you get to. I mean, you have to be elite with the belts in a unifying match to get that kind of money on the pay-per-views.
Yeah.
Whereas he's already there's no incentive for him to do that whatsoever.
No.
None.
Interesting. People can respond. I don't know.
Sure.
Walters at
Sure.
DetroitCast.com. And with that, we'll call it a day there, T.
Is that another unresearched email?
I don't know.
Calling us wrong again?
Well, it was just whatever we said was just opinion based, anyways. And I'm not going to pretend to know enough about combat sports.
Oh, no. I was talking more about Chris Jones being a free agent.
Oh, yes, very much so. All right, everybody, have a wonderful rest of the day. T, good luck with your shit today.
Thank you, sir.
We'll be back tomorrow, Thursday Night Football tomorrow. I'm excited. My Niners are playing.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I believe it's Niners-Giants at Levi Stadium. So
no Saquon.
Oh, even better.
There you go.
All right, have a great day, everybody. We'll talk to you soon.